Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. Welcome to QueenTiti's channel. Today, I am going to be doing an interview with Krystal, who is a young entrepreneur, mom, and wife. She has a very interesting path that she has traveled to get to where she is, but I'm super proud of her because she's accomplished so much. And I think that high school kids could learn a lot from her because she's been through a lot, had a lot of adversities, but she has come out on top and she is definitely on fire. So I want you to speak with her or hear what she has to talk about. Leave any questions that you have for her in the description box below, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. I can tell you now that this video was really long, so we recorded it because of the time it is, and then I went back and I'm doing the intro, and then I'm going to do the exit too. Beautiful editing. So I hope you enjoy. I'm going to break it up into 2 or 3 segments, and so you can watch them when you have time. And I will release them all on the same day. I will do that. So I will tell my editor to get it together and release them all on the same day. Thank you again for joining. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, suggest, do everything you can, because over here, this is a village. We work together. So that's the way that this is going to work, and that's how you're going to get what you need. So thank you again for joining, and let's get it started. We're going to jump right in.
What is that? Take heat, fuck these niggas up.
Another thing. So tell everybody who you are. So tell them your name, tell them what you do, and then something interesting about you.
Okay.
Tell them.
We're going?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey guys, my name is Krystal, and I am basically a confidence coach. I work with people to increase their confidence. We have our own private club with women and little girls, and it's a boutique, and it's also a sisterhood. So I love to, just kind of motivate people.
Awesome. And what's the name of your company?
It's called Pretty Princess. So it's the Pretty Princess Club. We like to do fashion and dressing up, and we like to increase confidence on the inside and also on the outside.
Right. And so your company also sells clothes for little babies, right? So your little girls actually model the clothes that you make, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So it's a family business.
Definitely. They love getting involved in dressing up and looking cute and stuff.
That's good. So my big question for you, because you're, I won't say really young, but you are, in comparison to me, you are young. You have done a lot of things, and you have been very resilient. You've been very resilient, very persistent, very courageous. And you guys check out on Pretty Princess, check out the story where she explains some different things that happened and what led her to want to start this, because her story is powerful. I very rarely share things on my page, and I shared it like immediately because it's something that some things that a lot of people have been through, and they haven't been so lucky on the other side, and she has. So she's definitely a trailblazer, and definitely somebody to support. And I think our youth need to hear it. The world actually needs to hear it, young and old. So how do you think that your resilience helped you to get where you are? Because that's a very customer facing business and avenue to take. And then you have to be very transparent because of the coaching part, that you have to be transparent in that. So how did you get to a place where that was okay and could be confident in that?
Yeah. I mean, for as long as I can remember, I've always been just like this hardball, always going against the grain type person, and always just kind of taking risks and seeing where it leads me. And so, I developed my why when I actually had children. Now I had a reason to actually fight. Now I had a reason to actually feel like I have, something to run after. So that's why I am the way I am these days. I feel like I have to be the person that I want to see my daughters be. So that's what's making me so confident and resilient in everything that I do.
I think that's awesome. So, oh my gosh, that's pretty awesome because, sometimes you can't bounce back from certain things that happen. So I
Yeah.
really love that about you too. Like you're a really dedicated mom. And so when you decided to have kids, it really looks like you decided, I'm having kids. I need to heal myself, and I need to be like the kind of mom and and you're married. I want us to be the kind of family that nurtures our girls, down to something that you do that I love. You take off their shoes when they're in the sand and when they're in the grass, just so that they could feel, and not be afraid of things. I think that's dope.
Definitely, definitely. And it's also, being someone who actually dropped out of high school, barely made it through the 8th grade, and then I went back to high school, got my high school diploma just to show them that they could, that meant a lot to me. Everything that I do is just to show others that they can actually do it and actually accomplish. When I look at others who are feeling maybe down about themselves or feeling like, this is out of their reach, I go and try to reach for it so I can say, hey, you can do this,
I
So,
think that's so awesome. I
yeah.
think that's so awesome. When you have a different calling on your life and a different purpose, things like that do fuel you. So
Mm-hmm.
you're really doing everything that you're doing to show somebody else that it could be done. So
Definitely.
that's really cool. So whatever way that we get to those positive places and those places where we change and everything just gets better, however you get there, I think that it's a good idea. And
Mm-hmm.
so I even believe that, sorry, when people say things like, well, if you don't love yourself, how can you love others? Because sometimes you can love others into a way that you will love yourself.
That's so
It
true.
happens that way. Or what is the other one? Hurt people hurt people. No, hurt people heal people because they don't want another hurt person. That's just an
Right.
excuse that we're making. Stop saying that. That's not true. It's
Right.
not. Because if you look at a lot of people that are walking around with smiles and that have made it, their story don't match what they look like today.
That's true.
You know, they've been through some things.
It's true. And I feel like, it's levels to life. It's more than just financial. Sometimes it's also mental. Really, I've learned that it's really all about the mental.
Yeah.
It's people that are very wealthy, but they feel, bad in their life. They have skeletons in their closet and they're still working out their thing. And the reality is we all have things to overcome. We all have trials, and we're all just trying to get through this thing with learning lessons and just overcoming,
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. It was a designer, and I don't know why her name just left me. A designer that just took her own life, and everybody thought she had everything in the world. She was married, she had beautiful children, her business was lucrative. Um, Dang it, why can't I remember her name? Okay, y'all, I can't remember her name, and I'm not sure why I'm drawing a blank. But I'm going to put her name right here because I actually really like this person. So I'm really upset that I can't remember the name, but I'm going to put it right here. But a designer that lived in New York, everybody really loved her. I thought she had a phenomenal life and all of these things, and she took her own life.
Right.
Money is not everything. It's not, because money isn't going to heal you. Money isn't going to protect you. Money isn't going to grow you. Money isn't going to give you a better spirit, better values, better morals. Those things are built in you despite having money or not having money. And that's why it says in the Bible that it's easier for a camel to fit through a needle than for a rich person to enter into heaven, because money isn't the root of all evil, it's the love of money. So when you get, so when you get that money, what do you aspire to do with it? I don't want to be rich. I want to be wealthy. I do. I want to create a generational wealth for my family. Let me tell you why. I want, for when I have my child, for them not to have $120,000 in student loans like I do. I want, for when my child gets out of college, I can reward them by helping them with putting a down payment on a home, and they can go to college and just enjoy college and enjoy each area of life where they can just really engage in what they're doing and not have to worry about working. I want my child to know several different languages. I want my child to travel the world. And so that is what wealth is. Wealth is what you want to do with that money. I want to have employees and be able to pay my employees to where they don't have to worry about their families. They don't have to be coming in and feeding into my company, but it's not feeding into their life, because there's some people that want to be bosses and there's some people that want to be employees. It's time, everybody's a head and a tail at different times in different areas. A boss is not necessarily the person at the top. The boss, the real boss, could be the one that's at the lower level of the company, because they know everything and they running your company to a T. Look at that person, reward that person, pay that person.
That's right. When it comes down to it, if people really could understand where they come from and how they actually do come from a line of royalty and from a line of people who
not slavery.
Right, didn't have to suffer, didn't have to, worry about poverty and things like that, they would want that. But because being in poverty is normal to them, they're comfortable with it, and it scares them to be anything other than that, and it also scares them to see people that are close to them be anything other than that. So that's what it really comes down to as well, just like a mindset transformation.
It is. So I see, one of my, I like to call it a gift because I do it. One of my gifts is that, like, if somebody tells me, oh, I really like to do X, Y, and Z, I can immediately tell them what they should be doing that would maximize their money, because it's something that they love, because you do need money to live. So I let them know, oh, you should be doing this, and you should be capitalizing on this way. And that's just one of my gifts. But the reason I think that a lot of people will sometimes see a promise in somebody and a purpose in somebody, and to your point, because they can't see outside of themselves and they can't appreciate the risk that may come with it. They're like, oh, example, like how people used to be like, oh, my kid is going to just be a nurse back in like maybe the 60s and the 70s. That's what was good enough for us. It's a steady job. You'll always be able to do it. But don't go work in entertainment, or don't go be an architect. Just be this or be a teacher. I think that mindset still exists today because people aren't willing to take a risk. And I mean, you can't. The only way you're still going to take the risk. But if you want to, you could have a job while you're pursuing your dream. That way you have the money to fill your dream. But whatever it is, let the end goal be your dream. Not, let it be yours.
Because some people have a dream to be a doctor. Some people have a dream to be a dentist. Some people have a dream to be a flight attendant or a pilot or whatever the case may be. But they have passion to do that. And I feel like it's a rebellion right now on poverty and just the rat race in general. It's a big rebellion on the rat race. And that's why a lot of people are trying to figure out how to be entrepreneurs, how to, take care of themselves, because they understand that nowadays a 401k is not going to get them through life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just no hope in it. So they're trying to figure out different things to do. For those who didn't make it through college and maybe are running out of time, they have to figure out how to take care of themselves. But like you said, at the end of the day, it's all about how much passion you have, just doing it with passion. If you have passion to do it, do it.
Right. There are so many people that didn't go to college and pursued their dreams. But here's the thing. So Google is your best friend. I have been in positions where I got the position and it was like, oh, okay, well, Asia, this is what you'll do. And I'm like, who? I don't know how to do that. I will go straight to YouTube. I will go straight to Google and start looking it up like quick, like, how do I do this? And, I have to teach myself. We're always going to be teaching and growing and learning, because what I learned in school, when did I get my bachelor's? Probably 10 years ago. A lot of that's not relevant today. All the marketing that I took then, it's not relevant today. Now, what I will say is that if you want to do certain things that require a degree, like marketing and things like that, a lot of companies require you to have a degree. It just makes you look better. And it teaches you the foundation. So it teaches you why you're building certain things, how to check statistics. It gives you a blueprint. But inside of that blueprint needs to be your own creativity. And so, You know what I'm saying? So you do need to
right.
have a foundation, but the foundation could easily come from you picking up a marketing book too.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to go to college, so there's other ways to do it. But you definitely need to, even if you want to be an entrepreneur, don't just go out there and just start selling mixtapes. Have an actual plan and know what you're going to do and how you're going to get there. A business plan, you still need to have all those things. Not, I want to do this, so I'm just going to follow my dream. How?
Right. And I love how you said that, because not everybody is as lucky as just, being successful on a wing. That's why it's super important to have a strategy, like you said, and also to remain teachable, because so often there's so many people that get out there, they're like, I'm going to launch a business, I'm going to start a business, and me. That is also a bad mentality as well, where you don't think to be collective and collaborate with other people. You're selfish and you're not teachable. And first of all, you have no experience, you have no plan. So then when you do launch your business and then you fall on your butt and you're wondering like, okay, what happened? Why is nobody supporting? But really at the end of the day, it's really not about that. It's about the strategy that you put together on how you're going to be successful. So I think a lot of people need to think about that before they just decide to start a business. They need to do the pre-work, which is the launch part of it, and the brainstorming, and constantly just learning every single day and teaching themselves, always just basically analyzing what other successful people are doing.
My favorite is when I hear people say, I ask them like, oh, well, if you won the lotto, like, what would you do? What you think is the number one answer?
Buy this, never invest, because people don't know where to invest their money.
Or they say, oh, I'm going to start a business. And I'm like, oh, really? Okay. I was like, that sounds good. Okay, well, what's your business going to be in? I don't know, but I'm going to start something.
Yeah. If they haven't thought of it yet, it's a red flag. I mean, you can't get $1 million in your hand and then think you're going to start a business. You don't even know what you're planning to do.
Look at how many celebrities. Okay, let's just take like TLC. TLC should have made X, Y, and Z amount of money, but because they didn't know to read their contract, know what they were reading, and they were just too excited, that money was never even theirs.
It's true.
Great talent, wonderful entrepreneurs, they great talent.
They were owned.
What if you go into business with the wrong person, and it could be anything, and know that you're going to take a hit, you're going to lose some money, you're not going to put into it, and it just skyrockets. If it skyrockets, I would have to say that you've aligned yourself with the right people, and so those people are carrying you with them. And that makes sense. Kind of like B-Love. Do you watch her, B-Love, on YouTube, the seafood lady?
I've heard of her, but I haven't seen her too often.
Okay, but just think of that. Perfect example. You don't even watch it and you've heard of her, right?
Yes.
So she has 2 sons. The son is dating someone, and then she has her husband. Her husband launched a channel. He don't even post. He got almost 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
He don't even post. The sons decided to start doing it. They have upward 250,000 followers. They getting checks every time they do a video because the mom did it. So they're carried with that. And that's what wealth and a legacy looks like. She set them up in such a way that when she was recording her videos, one was behind the camera, one was editing. She made that a family business. She has retired her husband. That's, those are things that happen that technically are overnight, but they're not, because the person before them did the work. So we got to pay attention to things like that when we look like, why not me? But in her business, she is like a Cinderella story. Her business took off and she started making a lot of money before the first year. It did. But she was a trendsetter. I don't know how that is a lotto pick. Hers did. But the person that, that all the musicians that we know are people that are in entertainment and were really, really hot at one time, and they did get big old checks and turned around and spent it on silly things instead of investing it. And all of them say, well, I didn't know this and I owe these taxes. I didn't know this and this person was overpaying themselves. Oprah said you don't let nobody write your checks and you should know your business. Oprah, Beyonce, all of them say that. at the very least, at least have that part down to a T.
Yeah.
At the very least, if somebody shows you something, even your lawyer, because you're supposed to be able to trust them, spot check that too and ask them, all right, that's what you're telling me. Show me where you got that from. Challenge some people. It's your money.
That's
Challenge
right.
some people. Because once you put them on their feet like that and they know you looking and you asking, they will behave better. But if they know you over here partying and popping bottles, they over here stacking away their money. So when your money is gone, they're living a good life. Everybody can start a business. Build your foundation. Pay attention to your point, what's happening around you. And more so, what I like to pay attention to is not people's success. I like to pay attention to their failures.
I was going to say that. That's right. That's right.
It's not a bad thing. It's a lesson because we're all going to fail. But if I could watch yours and you tell me something, then guess what? If I go this way and I see what you just shared with me, I'm going to be like, hey, let me go this way. Let me not do that. Right? So paying attention and like you said, working collectively, you help others. You know, I think that coming out of high school, my vision was, because in my era, the vision was, and I was always taught, you just go to school, you go to work, you work really hard. Your education is what's going to get you into these positions as long as you work really hard.
Like, no.
No, ma'am. That's not what happens. So first you have to research, doing your research. You have to research the company, see what type of company it is, see the demographics. Then you also have to know that it's who you know and what you know. But who you know is more important.
That's
so
right.
If I knew that, I was really, really shy. So that worked for me. I was like, if I keep being a stellar employee, I'm going to move up. But people around me that talk more, that went to lunches, they moved up right around me. And it was killing me because I was like, I don't understand. They're not even doing half the work that I'm doing. But they put themselves in a position to align with somebody that had the piece they may have been missing. So they were willing to train them.
A good
because
name.
They talked more.
That's right. And it's like these days, a lot of people aren't willing to build those type of connections, you know, and they're finding out later once it's like the Holy Spirit was kind of speaking to me earlier this week, and it's like a wave of people that are actually, not persistent in what they do, and they're actually avoiding the person that could be their helping hand, and they're going to miss their wave because while they're watching all these people that are around them trying to be successful, everybody in the same boat, somebody needs to lock arms so that when they go to the top, say you have a place at the table. That's what I keep telling people. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
It's because here's the real answer, and I'll give you what I think that my answer is based on observation, and then I'll share something. So even in high school, so this could apply to high school or it could apply to adults. So when you're in school, instead of doing a study group where each person reads a page and then y'all all share it with each other and you just cut your study time, right? Because everything as a kid you could relate to as an adult.
Yes.
I think I started a youth nonprofit because all the habits we have today are because we didn't have the habits then. So now we're backing out of them, right? Okay, so that's a great example. Now think of today. You saying we're not locking arms. You want to know why? Because I want to get the better grade. I want to make sure that I stand out. I want to make sure that I want to make sure, oh, well, I can't wait till they get it wrong. Watch, when they get it wrong, I'm just going to laugh. I heard them when they said it. I'm not going to say nothing.
Crazy.
You're really going to do that to people? And then you have the ones on the flip side that, to your point, have the study group. And they see everybody else locking arms and they see that one open space and they like, I'm not working that hard. I'm not working that hard, but I'm going to keep a look. I'm going to keep telling them, oh, y'all doing good. And I'm going to keep supporting them here and there. I'm going to keep, mind, the other word that they say. I'm going to keep their mind. I'm going to make them think I'm really supporting them. I'm going to show up sometimes. I'm going to show up a little bit. Keep one foot in, because guess what? Well, I know they about to hit it, but I ain't doing all that. They work too much. Then as soon as when they hit it, remember, I always supported you. I always had your back. Just let me know what you could do. Let me know what I could do. I'm willing to do anything it is to help you, because don't forget, I do this.
See?
But you never told me that to begin with.
Right.
And now you want me to put you on, and now I'm acting different if I don't want to help you. I'm acting different if I don't want to show you what the answers are to this test when you could have been over there studying with me. I'm acting different if I don't want to share my notes with you, because you could have been writing one page of notes, I could have been writing the other one, and then we could have came together and we could have helped each other. So while you was partying, we could have studied a little bit and both of us could have been partying.
And the thing about it is, it's like, so, because this wave has already happened. This wave is constantly happening where people are missing out on sitting at that table and locking arms. But I feel like when you get to a point of success and you are in this leadership role, you learn that even those people that didn't want to join in and jump in with you, didn't want to do it, and now that they want to come back, you give them resources, but they still have to do the work that you offered freely in the past. So now here they are having to still do the work. And now you're no longer the borrower, you're now the lender. You know what I'm saying? The shoe is on the other foot. So I just think that people are going to miss their chance. They're going to miss their mark. And I think it was really important about what you said as far as like the mindset of a child, because even to like your creativity comes when you have a mindset of a child.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you care more about doing things collectively. So yeah, that's a very important fact, to get back into that mindset of just being free. Like I watch my girls, they talk to everyone and I'm like, I need to be like that.
Right.
Because that's gonna, move me forward in my life,
Right. Right. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I think that, so I know that I'm in a very early stage of being an entrepreneur in this space with my nonprofit. It requires a lot of work. And at the beginning, I would say things like, you know what, when I make it up there, this person better not this, or this person better not that. And it was out of a hurt place. It was out of a hurt place. And I really had to think about it, and I had to pray about it. And I was like, you know what? No, I'm not, because I'm not going to continue that. So I'm going to do what I need to do so that I can show an example. So to your point, exactly what you said, okay, we got here, and I'm going to still help you get here.
Yeah.
I'm not giving you the spot.
I'm not giving it to you.
So you still gonna have to show me
right.
if you want it. So I'll give you a whole different task that's still at level A while we at level Z, because you can come in, but you're starting right there, and I need you to show me before it happens. Because I need to see that you're just as invested. I need to see that you put your blood, sweat, and tears into this too, because you did have the opportunity to have a seat at the table. And if it was 6 of us at the table working, it would have cut down the time. But you were okay with still living your best life. So no, now it's time for me to enjoy, because I'm not backtracking and teaching you everything. That would be insane. That's insanity. I've reached where I need to reach to enjoy. So, but I'm going to give you the tools, and I'm still going to love you and allow you to join me. You can still join me, because I want everybody to eat. I want everybody to be good. So no, you can't see these answers to my test right now because you should have studied with me. No, you can't see my notes, but our next session is on Friday. Come and join us. We meet at my house.
The thing that's so bizarre to me is that these same people that have it deep rooted in their hearts and in their minds, like, it's their will to not serve and to not give back. It's their will to not root for you. It's their will to not want to support you. These same people are looking for support. And I'm like,
the most. But you know, that's an I situation. I, me. That don't mean you're willing to give it. It means I, me.
It's like, how? I don't get it.
Yeah, how do you want from the world? How are you expecting to pull those flowers, but you didn't plant no seed?
It's crazy.
It's like that now.
I've been talking about the thing with watering each other's seeds so much. I've reached out to a couple of people where I was like, hey, how can I do something for you? How can I water your seed? I see what you have is great. I have a great mind. Maybe we could put something together. I want to see you win. I know that you're inspiring. You're amazing. We're both doing good. Like, let's try to, help each other out. And so that's just where I am right now, because that's what God told me. So I feel like that's so important these days. And I just hope that people can jump into that, because that's going to help them.
So I've had good experience in that space and bad experiences in that space. And
Yeah.
so, um, when you decide to be an entrepreneur, when you decide to be anything,
Yeah.
anything, it's a lesson that I wish I would have learned a long time ago. And it's something that you said before we jumped on the call. And it was um, like you were saying that basically it's a whole world out there. It doesn't matter if these 3 people don't like what I'm doing. It's 30,000 more that will.
Exactly.
And so if you change your focus to be resilient and pay attention to that, you will do better. And
Yeah.
so what I've
It
had
has
to
to
do,
be according to your path too. You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? You can't just do that for everybody. It's somebody for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
right.
But just the willingness in your heart to serve, I think that that's going to lead you in the path that you should be in. Like this whole meeting that we're having, I love this. You know, I believe this. I believe millions of people are going to get to see this one day.
So
I believe so.
yeah, I do. When you when you reach out with your heart, because those of
Mhm.
us that have a servant leadership and a servant heart, we kind of get hurt the most. And the
Sometimes.
reason why we get hurt the most is because we're vulnerable. I don't mean more people hurt us any different than anybody else. What I mean is the impact is different. Because
Right.
when you reach out, you feel like, okay, God told me to reach out to this person. God told me to help this person. God told me to do this. And you're like, let me do it with my whole heart. And you're so excited like a kid because you reverted back to a kid. You're so excited. Oh, I just want to help you. I want to do X, Y, and Z. And so when they hurt you or when they speak bad about you or when they do anything that is not right, it hurts your feelings so bad. It
Yeah.
hurts your feelings so bad because you like, but all I was doing was trying to do this, or why do you want to hurt me?
Yeah.
You have to build a resilience in every area of your life, especially when you're a giver, because it's not coming back to you the same way. Yours is coming back from God. It's coming a different way. Or
And
it's
I
coming back from
think
other servant leaders.
exactly. And I think that a lot of times people like they're so hip, like the givers, they want to give to everybody. You
Mm-hmm.
can't give to everybody. Just go to the ones that God sent you to. You know what I mean?
But I
Just
think God told me to help everybody.
we can't help the world. We can't save
Right,
the world.
right,
We can be a light to the world.
right,
We can be a direction to the world, but we can't just help everybody. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right. No, you're right. And you're supposed to pray. I learned this through therapy. I went to therapy. I learned this that you have to pray before you give. I never knew that. I thought it was just, you know, if you see somebody in need, you're supposed to give it to them. That's how I took it. And then if you don't give it to them, like I thought God was going to be mad at me, all these things, right? So if I had it, I would give it. That's not the truth because God is taking people through some things sometimes. And if you help them out of that pit and get them out of the way, you're essentially getting in God's way. And so that's why sometimes you will get punished. I didn't know that. So I learned that you have to pray, even if you know you're in school, back to test scores. If you're in school, back to helping somebody, you know, in any area of anything, you're supposed to pray before you do it. And then God will tell you yes, or he will tell you no. I didn't know that.
Because it's like God is like, okay, I'm about to put them through something because it's a test in this, it's a lesson in this, they're going to grow in this. It's like if I send my child to her room for being disobedient and she has to learn her lesson, you know, who are you to come tell my child to come out? And God is like, wait a minute, who are you to come deliver them out? You going to get hurt in this.
Right.
You going to get hurt.
Right. Right. And that's why you get your feelings hurt and you got to go to the side like, why me? But when you know all of these things and as you learn and you grow in the word or grow in spirituality, if that's what some have, grow in wisdom, grow in maturity, whatever it is, or listen to this and learn because we're teaching you.
Yes.
Learn to not take things personal.
That's right.
Don't take it personal because that could have been somebody else's lesson. And unfortunately, they just failed it.
Oh,
that you have to be there to help them when they fail it, but not too soon because then you're going to get in trouble. You got to wait till they humble themselves, maybe come back and talk to you, say, I learned my lesson, apologize, and then moved on. And some people you just move on from and it's okay. But it's a lot of lesson to be learned around that particular topic.
Yeah. I love how you said, don't take it personal because a lot of times in business, we take it personal.
Oh, I do. I
you
did.
know,
Girl like crying like, well, why? Why did you just do that? Or why did I just stay up all night and you told me you didn't like nothing? Why?
But that's just it. We have to niche it down, and we have to make sure that we're targeting the people that it's for. And
Right.
we have to learn not to take it personal. If somebody tell me no, I'd rather get 1,000 no's. And then when I get that yes, I'm like, okay, that was good. You know what I'm saying? And I was telling somebody else, like, you have to be willing to hear that. You got to be willing to hear that.
Period. Because we don't say yes to everybody either.
But you got to say yes to yourself, you know?
Right. But I mean, what the reality of that is you're expecting all yeses, but you don't give all yeses either. It's reality. Everybody not going to like everything, and it's okay. And what I like to tell people too is if you put something out there and it's not received by that person, don't trash that idea. Don't trash it. Make that your original, and always keep it in a file, save somewhere or something, and you tweak it for the person the way that they want it when you're delivering a service. But never let go of that original, because somebody might want that original and then you got to write it all over again. And I've been in situations like that where I'm like, I just threw that away. Oh my gosh. And I didn't even think to save it. Save it. It might come up later. Never let go of your work that you do, even starting from high school. If you're drawing in high school, if you are putting together business plans, if you have ideas, hold on to those, because those are also good things to look back when you like, look where I am now, look where it came from. Or, oh my gosh, I had a dream that this is what I wanted to do then, and now look where I really am. Hold on to that stuff. That stuff is going to be your story, and can't nobody take that from you.
Definitely, that's your story. I love how you keep relating this back to high school, because it's like in high school we learn so much, like the pretty girl and the mean girls. You know what I'm saying? The pretty girl gets the boy, but she also gets hurt. But she end up winning in the end. And that's just how it is, like with business. Like, you put a good idea out there, you think that people are just gonna initially receive you like, yes, you're going far, we're about to just pour our money into you. Like,
right.
they're gonna be intimidated. Like, how in the heck did she think of this amazing thing? That's why when people think of inventions, they want to patent it, because,
of course,
you know what I'm saying, it's like your idea, your creation, the thing that's gonna take you far, your vehicle. People are gonna want to total that car. You know what I'm saying? If it means that they can't drive it. Or if they can't get in the smart ones will get in the back seat and on the passenger side. But you know what I'm saying? on the flip side of that, somebody's gonna come pop that tire or bust the window. You know what I'm saying? Or take the engine out. So that's how you have to think about, you know, being an entrepreneur and pursuing business and your passion.